Friend Professor Iqbal here. I welcome all of you to my new episode of How to Take an Exam. Already in part first of How to Take an Exam, we have clearly discussed what preparations we need to do when we are taking an exam. In this episode, we are going to further discuss the important points that you need to particularly take care of when you are taking an exam. I know it is very important for all of us to execute the best that we can put in when we take an examination, but at the same time some plannings are very important for us to take care of when we are taking an examination paper. Before you take an exam, it is very important for us to solve many question papers, because you will be really very familiar with the blueprint of the question paper. It means by that time you will be aware of how to particularly study. So you will be familiar with what kind of questions will be there in examination. Now many students, they particularly ask me, or they get confused, sir, what to do, how to answer this question, how to come across what kind of questions will be there. But it is just a moment of time that which makes you confused or nervous. But what you have to do is, after having solved many question papers, many such questions, you will be really very confident. That will help you to determine your confidence in the main examination. So before taking an examination, these many things you need to do. First of all, think positively, solve many question papers, be well prepared, and then go to take the examination. So during exam time, what things should be done? First important thing when you go to examination room is keep your fear away. Keep your fear away from you. Your nervousness, your fear, your negative approach should be kept out of the examination room. I repeat once again, your nervousness, your fear should be kept out of the examination room. If you do so, you will flourish. You will come across with different changes in you. You will come out with flying colors. Now, as soon as you go into the examination room, you need to observe, you need to keep one thing in the mind, that I will read the question paper properly and I will try to understand the questions. And after that, as soon as you get the question paper, be composed, be calm, don't get nervous, read the question paper properly, try to understand what is being asked in the question paper. Then you go on answering the question paper. And while doing so, you have to make sure that you carry with you, okay, a bottle of lemonade or Glucon-D. So your diet is equally important. So before going itself, you should pack your diet properly, or you should have your breakfast properly, or thorough breakfast should be eaten. That you should carry, okay, a full bottle of lemonade or Glucon-D if possible, because you will be continuously studying for a long time. I know many of you continuously study for weeks, months, so particularly you ignore the diet part, and whatever you study you could not recall, you could not remind that. It is because of lack of energy in you. It is because of lack of energy in you. So what I advise you, you must carry with you a lemonade bottle or a Glucon-D pouch with you. That will help you. So instead of carrying water, you should have these two things or any one of these things with you, which will help you to take your examination by providing you energy. You will not be exhausted, tired. Now, so when you get the question paper, first of all, divide your time. How much time should be given for the parts which are present, the number of questions or sections which are present in the question paper. So suppose if there are 3 sections and your time limit is 3 hours. So I should particularly divide my 3 hours of time in such a way that the part which requires a lot of time should be given enough time, and the part which doesn't require enough time should not be given more time. So in that way, and you should also make sure that the part which takes less time should be opted first. Suppose if there are 3 parts and part B, suppose if part B is of grammar which takes less time, so I will be solving that part first. And when doing so, make sure the entire part of that section should be solved, okay, at one particular site. That is, in that section you have to solve the entire part. Okay, don't answer only few questions here and afterwards take the few questions in, okay, next part. No, that is not at all an adequate way of answering. Now after that, you see which is the second part you need to give time, okay, which requires even lesser time, so go for that. So suppose if B part requires less time, opt for that, then go to the next part and opt the, okay, the second less part, okay, and then come to the third part which requires a lot of time. Okay, and when you are answering something, remember one thing, okay, what I write should be to the point and it should be relevant to the question. Understand the question properly and answer the question in a such a way that your answer should be relevant, it should satisfy the question's need. And then if possible, highlight the points. Suppose if in a question some words are really very important, so those words should be highlighted in a such a way that evaluator will be impressed or he should be attracted towards your answer. Okay, now after having gone this, you need to keep in mind also the word limit that is being asked in the question. If your word limit is 100, 120, you should particularly adhere or follow that word limit. You should not extend the word limit that is given in the question. And if the questions are being asked to solve only 4, if they have told you to attempt only 4 questions, do not attempt more than 4 questions. Don't waste your energy on attempting many questions. That is not at all helpful or fruitful to you. So my advice is to go for the proper answers which you can solve properly or answer well. Don't opt any other question that is unessential or not at all required. Now after